The flight attendant barely glanced at the woman before dismissing her with a cold, clipped tone. "Ma'am, I need to see your boarding pass again," she said, her eyes narrowing as she scrutinized the digital screen. "Your boarding pass has to be verified before you're allowed to board. Please step aside." Ariel Carter, the poised African-American CEO of Luminary Innovations, handed over her boarding pass again, her expression unreadable despite the tension building beneath her calm exterior. "Seat 2A. Confirmed," she stated. Within seconds, a uniformed security guard strode over. Without so much as a word, he grabbed Ariel's arm, his fingers tightening around the fabric of her tailored blazer. She tried to speak, to explain, but he was already pulling her away from the gate. Travelers turned to look. Some were curious, some indifferent. Others nodded as though justice was being served. But then, something extraordinary happened. All at once, the terminal's massive departure screens flickered, then went black. The boarding gate displays froze. Public announcements cut off mid-sentence. Skyglide Airlines Gate 47 descended into utter confusion. The buzz of frustrated passengers echoed across the terminal, while employees scrambled helplessly amid the chaos. This was no ordinary delay, and Ariel Carter was no ordinary passenger. Born to a single mother who worked night shifts to make ends meet, Ariel's rise was anything but easy. By the age of 16, she was repairing salvaged electronics from pawn shops and coding in a self-taught Blur on an old laptop donated by a schoolteacher. Her perfect SAT scores should have been a ticket to elite schools, but the rejections stacked up, always politely worded, never fully explained. She eventually earned a spot at a state university on a partial scholarship, balancing coursework with 2 jobs. At her first tech job, she created an algorithm that boosted revenue by millions, and her supervisor took the credit. When she objected, she was labeled difficult. That was the last time Ariel Carter let someone else define her worth. At 28, she bet everything she owned to start Luminary Innovations from her 1-bedroom apartment. Today, it boasted 6,000 employees worldwide and annual revenues exceeding $1.3 billion. That morning, Ariel was en route to Singapore to deliver a keynote at the Global Technology Futures Conference, where she was expected to close a $600 million strategic partnership with the Singapore Sovereign Growth Fund. This trip was vital. She traveled solo, not because she lacked resources, but because she preferred space to think. But the moment she stepped into the Skyglide Airlines check-in lobby, her journey began to unravel. A gate agent intercepted her with a glare. "Coach check-in is over there, ma'am," gesturing toward a long queue of economy passengers. "I'm flying first class," Ariel responded evenly, raising her phone to display her boarding pass. "Coach check-in," the agent repeated, sharper now. Rather than argue, Ariel proceeded to the premium counter, where another employee double-checked her credentials with wide-eyed surprise, but allowed her to check in. She headed to the TSA security checkpoint, where a new barrier emerged. "Random screening," a TSA agent declared, pulling Ariel from the nearly empty first-class security line. As she stood in the secondary screening line, she observed 3 white men in expensive suits glide through unchecked. Her pat-down was invasive, humiliating. Her custom-made Swiss watch disappeared. Only after threatening legal action did a supervisor magically produce it from a bin Ariel had never touched. By the time she reached Gate 47, boarding had begun. Ariel presented her pass. The gate agent, Madison, scrutinized it like a counterfeit bill. "One moment," Madison said, then picked up the phone and began whispering. Within moments, a supervisor named Gerald approached, eyes narrowed. "Ma'am," he said, barely looking at her, "first class on international flights is very exclusive. Are you aware of the cost?" "Yes. I paid it," Ariel replied calmly. They asked for her passport, her credit card, and, oddly, a company authorization form. As other passengers boarded unhindered, Ariel was escorted to a customer service desk under the guise of verification. Her flight took off without her. Gerald returned, emotionless. "I regret to inform you that the flight has departed." "I was detained," Ariel replied. You caused this. We can rebook you on the next flight. Economy class only. First class is full. Show me the seating manifest, Ariel demanded. After pressure, he did. 3 seats were empty. You lied. Operational reasons, Gerald stammered. Discrimination, Ariel corrected. She demanded first-class rebooking. He refused. Then she made a quiet phone call. Marcus, she said to her chief strategy officer, remove Skyglide from our client shortlist for the Singapore contract. Effective immediately. Skyglide Airlines was in the final round to win a 5-year, $4.1 billion global travel contract with Luminary's partner network. But that was not all. Through Horizon Equity Group, Ariel personally controlled 27% of Skyglide stock, a larger stake than the Winters family itself. Initiate Plan Delta, she told Marcus. I want an emergency board vote this afternoon. And notify the media. Security guards still flank her. But the growing awareness of who she was shifted the mood. One officer recognized her. MS. Carter? My daughter wrote a paper about you. You're her hero. And then the screens came alive. News tickers flashed. Skyglide shares plunge amid discrimination controversy. Investors panicked. Executives called each other in a frenzy. The terminal erupted into whispers and videos. Bradley Winters, the airline CEO, watched from afar, pale with realization. Then came Ariel's cavalry. Samantha Reyes, her executive assistant, arrived flanked by Luminary's legal team. Documents in hand. Board members were dialing in from around the globe. Madison, the gate agent, tried to deflect blame. Gerald followed suit. But Ariel stepped forward, climbed onto a chair, and addressed the crowd. My name is Ariel Carter. I am a founder and CEO of Luminary Innovations. Today I was denied my seat, my dignity, and my rights. Not because of what I did, but because of who I am. Gasps. Searches. Recognition. Bradley approached, attempting to salvage the moment with a faux apology. You can keep your apology, Ariel said. What I want is accountability. She presented evidence. Emails, testimonies, statistics. Instances of racial profiling, inequity, humiliation. Passengers shared their stories, too. An elderly black woman. A South Asian man. A Latino teen. All with similar tales. All ignored until now. Cameras captured everything. I was evaluating Skyglide for a $4.1 billion contract, Ariel told the press. That deal is off the table. So is our stake. We will divest. Today. Bradley froze. Board members arrived. A meeting was called. Inside a private lounge, Ariel laid bare her findings. As the weight of her evidence sank in, Bradley slumped in his chair, clutching his chest. Paramedics rushed in. Stress-induced cardiac event. He survived, but his career didn't. An hour later, the board suspended Bradley Winters indefinitely. An independent audit was launched. Ariel was asked to consult on reform. She accepted conditionally. You don't fix systemic rot with press releases. You do it with courage and commitment. I'll be watching. The terminal buzzed with admiration as Ariel exited. Not a soul doubted she had just reshaped not only one airline, but the entire industry. And as Skyglide's fleet sat grounded for restructuring, its gate at Terminal B was renamed the Ariel Carter Concourse. Not as an apology, but as a reminder,